Here you go. I've got the best and the worst against the spread in the NBA as we get ready to restart play this evening. The Cavs, 19-8 against the number. Then the Raptors, Grizzlies, Thunder, Clippers, and Rockets. The worst teams are the Wizards, Pelicans, Suns, Pacers, and Kings on the naughty side.
Well, there you go. So look at the teams that cover. The only one that doesn't win is the Raptors.
That's it. They're the only one. They've covered a lot of games this year, despite being one of the worst teams in the NBA. All right, lots of games tonight. 13 of them, to be exact. So let's start rolling through the NBA. The Jazz are in Detroit tonight against the Pistons. Pistons minus 4.5, 227.5 the total.
Yeah, I like the Pistons at home. I mean, let's face facts. They've been playing good ball, and they're coming off a win over the Heat in overtime. They put a buck and a quarter on the Heat. They're going to beat the Jazz and cover.
The Thunder coming off that loss in Vegas on Tuesday night, where they really did absolutely nothing against the Bucks. They now go to Orlando, where they will see the Magic. Thunder minus 6.5 now, 209.5 the total.
Yeah, I still have a problem with no Franz, no Banchero, and you're up against a 20-5 team. Now, I know they got smoked by the Bucks. I think it's irrelevant. I think they get right back on the horse and win tonight in Orlando at the Kia and cover.
Two of the worst in the NBA, the Hornets and the Wizards in D.C. tonight. Minus 4.5 for the Hornets, 226.5 the total.
I don't want anything to do with this. I really don't. It's such a disaster.
Yeah, you can't bet this game.
But I would take.
Can't bet it.
I'd take the Hornets. I really would. That's how bad the Wizards are.
The Wizards are pathetic. The Celtics are home tonight. Celtics 21-5 on the year. The Bulls are in town, in Beantown. Minus 14.5. 2 tutties and a hook for the Celtics tonight. How about this total? 240.5 the total. Look out.
God, I don't think they cover 14.5 against Vooch and Levine and Lonzo. I'm going to take the number with the Bulls. I think they'll be in the game. I think the Celtics will win the game, won't cover.
Yeah, those teams are both going to hack up a lot of threes tonight, man. A lot of threes with the Bulls and the Celtics. That's for sure. The Nets are in Toronto. We mentioned Toronto was one of those teams on that best against the spread, but they're 7-20 this year. They stink. And they're actually favored tonight. See, Toronto's on that list because they're usually getting points.
Right.
Tonight, they're laying points. Minus 2.5 against the Nets. 217.5 the total.
Yeah, I like Brooklyn here and the 4 points. This reminds me of the Carolina Panthers. They hadn't been favored in 33 games. They were favored by 2.5. I took the Cowboys. The Cowboys smoked them. I think the Raptors win and cover bets against the spread because they're always a big fat dog. Tonight, they're favored by 4. I'll take the Nets and the points.
The Pelicans are in Houston tonight against the Rockets. The Pelicans, they stink. They've lost 4 in a row. Again, they're 5-22 on the year, and they're getting 8.5 in H-Town, 217.5 the total.
Christ, I saw it at 10.5. That it's 8.5 is even more delicious to me. Give me Şengün and the Rockets at home at the Toyota to lay the Pelicans out flat.
One of the good ones tonight, you mentioned this at the top of the show, the Warriors are in Memphis against the Grizz. Grizzlies now minus 1.5. 236.5 is the total.
They're so tough. They are so much tougher than the Warriors. It's not even funny. They're the 2 in the West. Give me the Grizzlies at home at the FedEx off Beale Street. I like Memphis to win and beat the Dubs.
Atlanta in San Antonio against the Spurs this evening. We have minus 1.5 for the Spurs, 233.5, big total.
I think Atlanta's better than the Spurs. Give me the Hawks on the streets off the Riverwalk.
I'll slide one more in here. Clippers are in Dallas against the Mavericks. Mavs minus 4.5, 223.5.
I kind of like Dallas. I'd lean Mavs at home at the American Airlines in Big D over the Clippers. I think the Clippers have been really good, but mostly I think against teams that are average and at the end to it, they've started to win. I don't like them here tonight in Dallas.
Why don't we begin in Phoenix, where the Pacers are in town for the Suns this evening. Suns minus 6.5, 235.5 the total.
I like the Suns, but how about a cover? How about middle this? I think the Pacers show up tonight, 6.5. I bet the game's better than that. I think the Suns barely win.
The Knicks and the Timberwolves, game of the night, I guess you could say, with Cat returning to Minneapolis to face his old team. Of course, Randall and DiVincenzo facing their old team on the other side. T-Wolves now up to 3.5 as the favorites, 214.5 the total.
Yeah, I already bet it. T-Wolves -3, so I got it in before it moved. I think they'll beat the Knicks tonight. I want the Knicks to win. Obviously, I like the Knicks. I like watching the Knicks. I don't want to bet on them in this game because I think Minnesota's playing great ball. Ann Edwards is a badass. And I think Randall and DiVincenzo are going to want a piece. And I think the only one that cares about it on the other side is Cat. But he's good for a double-double no matter what anyway, maybe even a trip dub. But to me, the whole team is Brunson and Cat, right? It's just like a pick-and-roll machine. So I think the T-Wolves can get it done tonight at the Target the way they've been playing, and particularly of late, they've been good.
Nuggets are in Portland against the Blazers. Nuggets now up to 8.5, 234.5 the total.
Yeah, I don't think the Nuggets are as good as everybody else does. I really don't. I'm going to go rogue on this one tonight and take the 8.5 at the Moda in Rip City. Why is it so low? If they're playing this big badass Joker and all of his triple doubles, and you'd think it'd be 12 at least because the Blazers stink. I'm going to go high risk, low amount, low money on the Blazers and the number. Something crazy has to happen tonight somewhere.
Something crazy does have to happen somewhere. And finally, the Lakers are in Sacramento against the Kings tonight. This is now minus 5.5 for the Kings. 228.5 is the total. I know LeBron was at practice this morning. I would have to assume, is he actually going to come and play tonight, Scotty? I think he's going to be back in there, LeBron, tonight. He did do this. He is listed as questionable officially for this evening.
I mean, this comes down to Sabonis against Davis to me. And, I think the game might be tighter than 5. I like the Kings to win this game and the Lakers to cover the 5. And I think the Lakers stink.